I just wanted to put a little disclaimer that yes, this is kind of a women's activist thing. I did make this video specifically for us women, but it affects everyone. So this is not to discard anybody. Every single person has a right to what I'm about to talk about. Okay, I'm done. Hey guys, it's Cora. I want y'all to listen closely to what I have to say. Because if you are a woman, this affects you tremendously. So I'm going to spit out a few facts before I go into what this is all about, okay? According to this website that I'm reading from called American Progress, in Louisiana alone, laws that are still in effect restrict insurance coverage for abortion care, impose medically unnecessary waiting period and biased counseling requirements to access abortion, require parental consent for minors, and more. As a result, abortion access remains out of reach for many state residents. States that have restrictive laws against abortion or women's rights in general would mostly be like the South states, like Louisiana or Arkansas, places like that. Excuse me. Again, going back to the source, restrictive abortion laws are nothing new. For decades, states have been passing laws designated or designed to limit access to abortion care and in effect to make the right to abortion virtually meaningless. Since 2011 alone, state legislatures have passed more than 400 restrictive laws. These relentless efforts to undermine access to essential reproductive health care are especially egregious in the midst of a global public health emergency, when states should have prioritized controlling the coronavirus pandemic, not restricting access to critical health care services. Now, I'm going to show y'all a video that I just found literally like 10 seconds ago, and I am in awe right now, but I'm just going to show you guys this video that I found on the CBS News website. And by the way, this did not happen in our country. This happened in El Salvador, but nonetheless, this needs to be an issue that's spread all around the world. Okay, I'm going to start.
Al hospital llegan por radio de que me llevaban detenida por intento de homicidio por aborto.
Jacqueline says she miscarried, but the state says it was an abortion. In El Salvador, that's illegal.
Si es necesario detener a la persona que realizó el hecho.
When you shoot with a gun to other people, you go to the hell. It's the same with that.
Since 1998, over 140 women have been incarcerated. Many say they were wrongfully convicted.
Voy a hacer 30 años en un lugar.
All these women are being here in jail because of miscarriages, and the state changes the felony to first-degree murder.
La sociedad nos ve como asesinas, pero la realidad no la conoce.
Women seeking abortions are forced to the black market, where an estimated 5,000 procedures are performed every year.
It's not an exaggeration to say that these laws kill women.
No, I think it's true.
El Salvador provides a glimpse of what some warn an abortion ban in the United States could look like.
So, now that you have seen this video, I want you to take a second and imagine if that happened in our country. And little did we realize, we thought that we rose above these countries, that we rose above these stupid laws taking away from women's rights. But the truth is, we're actually recessing. This is coming from a government website. It's congress.gov. And this is essentially explaining the bill that has been banned probably since 2019, and it says, this bill temporarily restricts federal funding for Planned Parenthood Federation of America. Specifically, the bill prohibits for a one-year period the availability of federal funds for any purpose to this entity or any of its affiliates or clinics, unless they certify that the affiliates and clinics will not perform and will not provide any funds to any other entity that performs an abortion during such period. This restriction does not apply in cases of rape or incest, or where a physical condition endangers a woman's life, unless an abortion is performed. I'm sorry, who are you? So this video is going to be a multitude of reasons why that is a bad idea. And we're going to start with not the women's movement, but how that is going to essentially up our whole entire economy. Now, if you guys have taken health class in sophomore year or whatever year you were required to take health class, you would know, if you went to my school, you would know about China. We watched a video on China, and essentially it's kind of a funny video because they're like promoting condoms and they're making balloons out of condoms, and it's kind of funny. But when you really actually look into the severity of it, it's really important that they're doing this. So basically what happened, I don't remember which year because I haven't gone to health class in a long time. There was this problem with overpopulation in China. And so what they did is they created an association called the China Family Planning Association. And according to a source that I'm reading, IPPF.org, the SFPA's main target groups are the vulnerable ones, such as women of reproductive age in economically less developed areas, the young people between 10 and 24 years old, the migrants, and the ethnics in the remote areas. These people often lack both the knowledge and the skills to improve their health and status in the access to reproductive health information and education. Now, to my knowledge, I do not want to share false information. That's not the point of this video. To my knowledge, that is a government-funded association. Because not only is it important for women to have these rights, but it is important for their population. Because if you have too many people, how are you going to feed them? How are you going to give them affordable health care? How are you going to give them insurance? Planned Parenthood. Funding people. That is the way. And what America is essentially doing is making the outcome even bigger for them. Essentially, I hate that I'm talking about this. Basically, if they don't fund this, in the next 3 years, we're going to have too many damn babies popping out, and because people don't have the insurance, because they're not funded. Yay to not being able to eat because we won't have enough money. Just saying. Another thing, a very important thing, is the coronavirus. Literally, what are you doing? We need this in order to check how our health is. If you have an STD or herpes or something like a reproductive disease, a sexually transmitted disease, anything like that, your chances are higher for getting coronavirus. And for them defunding Planned Parenthood, it is less likely for you to be able to get tested for these things. I mean, yeah, sure, you can get vaccines and things like that, but that's not accessible to everyone. And essentially what we're doing is not only recessing back to the old times where women didn't get any freaking rights, now we're just making our chances higher to get a disease so we can get the virus. You guys are stupid! I'm sorry, I have to compose myself. So, last but not least, the very biggest point about this is the Women's March. Oh my god. We need to make a protest. Now, here's what I feel about protests, especially right now. I wouldn't want to go to them because there's a lot of people and I want to go back to school and I don't want to get the virus. But this is one exception. I am a woman, and to think that in the next 3 years or 2 years, if I wanted an abortion and I couldn't have it because it was not funded by the government, that would suck. And abortions aside, you know, that only makes 1% of the whole entire parenthood, what they're defunding, essentially. That only makes 1% of it. Imagine all of the tests that women are going to lose. But you know what? Whatever, because women have been getting bashed for years and have been losing their rights for years. So honestly, it does not surprise me that the men want to take away our rights once again. And let me just say, if you are going to make anything negative about this video, honestly, if you're not a woman, it doesn't matter. You should still, if you're a man, would you want your rights taken away? If you had an STD, would you want to not be able to check that because you can't afford it? No, you wouldn't want that. And that is essentially what they're doing. So here's what I'm asking y'all to do. If you and another woman don't like each other, if y'all are having beef, you know what's more important than your stupid ass beef? This movement right here. Maybe some women or ladies do not know about this issue that's going on. Everyone should freaking know about this though. And if you don't already, you need to educate yourself. You need to make a video. You need to publish a petition. You need to sign a petition. We need to create a protest. We need to do something about this. We can't just be sitting here and let the men take our rights once again that they have been doing for years. Years on years on years. Okay, y'all, I watched, it's a little bit of a side note, but it goes with what we're talking about. I watched this show called Blacklist. And a couple days ago, we were watching this episode about this girl who had gotten raped. And she had an abortion. And because she had that abortion, she went to jail. And that guy walked free. Now, this might not be a real story, but just hold on. So, it's not fair at all, but this is what she did. She impregnated men without their permission to make them know how they felt. And it wasn't just like random innocent men who had wives or husbands or whatever. No, these men were bad people. These men were rapists. These men were bad people. Did she still go to jail for it? Yes, she did, because that is highly illegal, and that's a crazy bear. But let me just say that the fact that women even feel that they have to do that is bull. Like, I know that was just a TV show, but things like that happen in real life. Not the impregnating men part, but women committing crimes and getting sent to jail just so they can have their voice heard. Because men take it away constantly. Let me just share with y'all my personal experiences that I've shared on this channel as well. A guy punched me in the face. People have touched me in ways that I did not allow them to do. And I've ended up having to get restraining orders and things like that against people because they don't know how to act. What? Because they got a penis. They want to let it all out. Well, guess what? It's not your right. I'm not going to go into too much about the restraining orders just because of the legalities of it all. I don't even know if I was supposed to say that, but it goes as little as some guy belittling you because he is a man and he can lift something and you can't. It goes as little as that to rape, to sexual assault, to things like that. And am I at all, praising the Karens for saying, that guy touched my shoulder, I'm putting a restraining order on him? Hell no. That girl crazy. But I am spreading the message that no matter who you are as a woman, you deserve your rights. Regardless of whether you fake, if you a freaking selfish ass person, but you're a woman, you deserve your rights. I'm gonna say this once again. Abortion only takes 1% of Planned Parenthood. And it is just so ridiculous that the government thinks that's a good idea to defund that. But for some reason, they think it's such a flex. But you know what? It's not. It's not at all. And I want to put this out there for you guys. For the women out there that think that they're not good, that they're not as good as men. But we're all equal. Sure, some of us have different private parts. Who freaking cares? We all have the right to live our lives, to live our best lives, to be funded, to have money, to be independent, to buy our own houses. We deserve that. And if y'all, or if I, or if anyone in this world, not even just women, men, if y'all don't do something about this quick, we're going to go back. We're going to recess. We're going to be puppets like we were in the 50s. And that is so crazy to me. I thought we reached a point where we were past that. But apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently men still want to rule our lives. But we don't just have to sit there and let them do that. We are Americans. And if you're not an American and you're in another country, you're still your own person. And yes, people will die. People will get hurt if you speak about certain things. But if they're right, they're right. And God, I hate to bring up religion, but I'm gonna do it. God never said that women could not be their own person. And yeah, you know, the Constitution says all men created equal. But the Constitution has changed over the years. Let's not let it recess. Let's not let it go back. I want to put this out here because everybody deserves the world, including men. We all deserve the world. And that's all I really wanted to say on here. That's all I really wanted to make a point about. So I hope you took something from this. I hope that right after you watch this video, you go and do your own research. You go sign as many petitions as you want to. But this defunding is bull. And any woman should know that. Any man should realize that. That, hey, we are all people. Just because I am a man and I have a penis doesn't mean that I get different rights than them. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I hope y'all took something from this. Just as I said 20 times before, please go do something. Please host a freaking protest. Do something. Thank you. Have a good day. I want y'all to watch the following video with an open mind.
Planned Parenthood provides care for patients across the country, no matter their zip code, their income, their race, their immigration status, their sexual orientation, or gender identity, no matter what. In Washington, some politicians are trying to defund Planned Parenthood. But what does that really mean? Millions of people come to Planned Parenthood for healthcare services like birth control, STD tests, cancer screenings, and sex education. And Planned Parenthood proudly provides safe and legal abortion, a medical procedure federal health programs won't pay for except in extremely rare circumstances. The care that patients get at Planned Parenthood prevents an estimated 579,000 unintended pregnancies each year and saves lives through early detection of cancer and other life-threatening conditions. 60% of the people Planned Parenthood serves rely on federal programs like Medicaid to help pay for their preventive and essential health care. And just like every other hospital or doctor's office that takes Medicaid or any other insurance, Planned Parenthood is reimbursed for the specific care we give each patient when they come to us. So when politicians talk about defunding Planned Parenthood, they're not talking about striking a line in the federal budget. They're talking about blocking millions of women, men, and young people from getting essential and life-saving care. Here's what their plan would cost Americans. An estimated 1 in 5 women in America have been to a Planned Parenthood in their lifetime. Nearly half of all Planned Parenthood patients are people of color. For many people, Planned Parenthood is the only place they can get care in their community. In fact, more than half of Planned Parenthood health centers are in rural or underserved communities.